The Sentai Review, episode 123, the Zeo Review 2.
And phone dropping.
Well, it's taken us, what, I think it's, last I checked it was like 5 months since we did the first volume. So.
Oh, dude, it was way too long. It's unacceptably too long. We have to fix that. We have to, there's no way around it. We have to fix that. We have to start figuring out how to get this done.
And Turbo's next.
I know.
Turbo movie is next.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, the Turbo movie is next, unless we go back.
You're right. The Turbo movie is
technically
next.
Starts it. Oh my god, I hate that movie.
This is going to be awesome.
Okay.
Everybody will have to watch the movie.
And it is a movie. It's not a series.
I do have access to it, so don't worry about that.
So anyways, yes. What I think we're going to start doing is we're going to require the group to try to kill out like a disc worth of episodes each week.
How many are in on a disc?
Relatively, a disc is anywhere from 5 to 10 episodes, as you can see.
This is when we're counting the ones that are separated in 2 volumes.
10 episodes a week is like 2 episodes a day.
Listen, man,
it can be done.
Listen, the reason why Zeo has taken me so long to get through is because, honestly, what makes a good show, what makes a good hero is a good villain, and I hate the Machine Empire.
Right. Well,
when we get to space, I promise you all that are listening, I will watch space. I love space.
Right. Well, we need to start doing something. I say we need to be able to be... I think we need to pull like 2 episodes a day or something like that.
That's actually very easy because I have Netflix and every Power Ranger show is on Netflix. I will be able to keep up.
I crammed the rest of the series.
I unfortunately tried to.
Yeah, I know. We need to kill that idea too, because and then you're kind of burnt out on it when you finally show up to talk, because you're like, oh man, dude, I killed it in like a day and a half or some shit.
I didn't quite finish. I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. I got most of it done. I missed out on about 9 episodes. I could not.
I watched all of it. And then I was going back through it to try to kind of formulate
your mind.
Where I was, and I made it, for the most part, I made it to like episode 39 or 40 and was like, fuck this, and I started skipping to the things I knew I wanted to discuss, to watch.
I unfortunately started, because these are going to be episodes 26 through 50.
Yes.
I made it to episode 41. So... after that, when Bill and Scott start talking, things might refresh. I might remember things I watched as a kid. But we can talk about all those crap episodes, and those are fun.
So here we go. Reploid Bill, William Bush,
Scott Action Jackson,
Shane McCree, Peroto guy.
Hey guys, I know you're about to get your podcast on, so I'll be quick. If at any time you feel like dropping your own opinion into what we're talking about, head on over to fandomnight.com, and all of the contact information for every single one of our shows, including the one you're about to watch, is there. Alright guys, I'll leave you alone. Okay, so here we go. We gotta jump into this. So, our first episode that we got was Game of Honor.
Episode 26.
Asshole ex-boyfriend returns.
Yes. Okay. I was watching this episode.
Wait! Before we even get into this, I'm going to cut you off because I have to defend myself and I have to shit on somebody.
Okay, go ahead.
Shit on the ex-boyfriend?
No. When I came into this, I said, hey, let's talk about Tanya. And I made a whole bunch of references about Tanya. People got on me and said I was wrong. I went back and I watched that episode. Not only did I discover I'm not fucking wrong, not only am I right, I'm even more right than I realized. Let me point something out. Zordon tells them, you are going to go through time to your ancestors. Now, I want to break this down for you. Your ancestors are not alive.
You're absolutely right. Yes.
They're fucking dead.
Yeah,
that is
the
yes.
current time
They
point, yes,
lived
should've.
before you.
Yes.
So if she goes back to an ancestor, it has to be at least 40, 50 years ago. Okay? Now hold on. That means that my original statement that she was like tribal and, so far ago, that might be true. But I will reiterate something that I'm still fucking right. She is the central, most extreme genius ever put on Power Rangers, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. When they found her, how old was she?
Now you asked me this question at work.
No. The very first time they found her when she was
a kid.
When they were doing the
Zeo Crystal, how old is she?
I said anywhere between 8 to 10.
Yeah, I would guess maybe like 9-ish. So
okay. She switches spots with Aisha and comes into the future. The future!
And
I will also reiterate that I'm still fucking right, because ask your fucking grandma of 60 goddamn years ago how different the fucking world was as opposed to where she is now. Now we bring her into the fucking future.
And she grows up.
50 years into the future. And instantly the Zeo Crystal changes her from 9 to 18.
Well,
first off,
18-ish.
the Zeo Crystal robbed her of 9 years of her fucking life.
Her adolescence gone. Childhood.
Gone. And the next week, she was tutoring algebra. I don't know how many of you have 9-year-olds, but I want you to take your 9-year-old. Whoever has 9-year-old that listens to this, take your 9-year-old and then go find an 18 or 19-year-old in their very last year of high school. And I want you to take their homework assignments, and I want you to give those homework assignments to your 9-year-old and let them do that work. And you cannot help. And then I want that teenager to accept the grade that is given to them by the 9-year-old that did their fucking reports for them. Unless your kid is a fucking genius, she cannot tutor fucking algebra and be the best person in the science class and be one of the top fucking students in the computer class and learn
a good baseball player
and a top flight fucking baseball player and a fucking professional singer and she knows fucking cinema and editing and filmography
and she loves horror movies.
And she's a horror movie buff. Don't you think I'm done? She also learns a new kata every fucking day. Oh, and let's get more creepy. She's dating Adam.
We will, in this episode right here, actually pushed it harder than any other episode, because you will see when her ex-boyfriend shows up with a new girl.
Yes.
And he has to be like, this is my new girlfriend.
Fuck you, bitch.
Fuck you,
How
bitch.
think of that, bitch.
And then and she's not even really. She doesn't seem to care.
I'm here to support my guy.
Adam's up there, fucking twirling his swords and shit. I want to talk about this tournament here in a few.
That's fine.
But she's like, and the whole point of this is, I will get to it when we get to the end of the episode, because at the end of the episode, one sentence is said, and that one sentence cemented it, in my opinion. But anyway, he comes up. He's in this tournament with Adam, and Adam's on top of a fucking cliff, swinging swords like a badass. Because everyone knows Adam's a badass. I think Adam is until Jason comes back.
Except for the fact that the footage is wrong, and the Green Ranger is very obviously a boxer, not a martial artist, he would be the second best fighter on the team.
He is the second best fighter on the team.
In fact, I would argue that storyline-wise, and what I've watched the two people do, in real life, I do not believe he could beat Jason David Frank.
No.
in fake life, in the storyline, what I've watched Adam do and accomplish, he might be able to take Jason. Well, he might be able to take Tommy in a real fight.
We all know that Jason was a great fighter when he was when he was a Ranger.
And then Jason is arguably the best fighter that they've had up to this point because he beat Tommy. And he did it multiple times. Let's just look, love Tommy all you want. Storyline-wise, Jason is superior in martial arts to Tommy.
And then when Jason came back, they sparred. Him and Adam sparred. There was a sparring match. It was a draw.
Yeah.
It was a draw. Adam helped.
Actually, that was going on with Jason with a lot of the guys.
Yes, he was, except for Rocky. We'll get to that episode.
I've also got theories on that as to why Jason left, and when he came back, everybody was on par with him. I have a theory as to what was going on.
When we get to Jason, we will discuss that. But this tournament, I've never been in a martial arts tournament in my entire life, so I do not know what it goes on about.
Been in 3.
But Adam was swinging swords multiple times.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he makes it to the finals without fighting a single motherfucker? I'm sorry, I don't think that's how it works in a martial arts tournament.
No swords
we don't get to see any of it.
You don't see all I see.
Also, this episode proves something that I've been thinking about for a long time. I think legitimately Angel Grove is a fighter city. Almost like the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They talk about it being the boxing city.
Yeah, and when Rocky came out, they kind of cemented that.
But it really was before that. One of the reasons he picked that as being that place is because there's boxers everywhere down there. Everywhere. There's fucking corner gyms all over the place. People box. It's a fucking way of life down there. Well, I think that legitimately here in Angel Grove, I think it's a martial arts community.
I would like to think that because it seems like everybody is a martial artist.
Because even dickhead boyfriend baseball player is a martial artist.
Yes.
We had no indication of that till now.
Oh, I can't wait till we get to some other episodes because I got some other shit I want to rag. It's not like I had a hard time watching this show. I did at some points because I facepalmed.
Yeah.
I fucking facepalmed when I saw some shit, and we'll get to it later. But this episode has.
There's a cog.
They find this cog that is a cloaking device.
Yes,
and the ex-boyfriend has one.
And the cloaking is the cloaking ships that King Mondo has on Earth. We're getting ready to annihilate everybody.
Why have I stopped you?
Am I getting ahead of myself?
No. I just want to emphasize here, once again, I can prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that the reason the Machine Empire does not simply invade Earth is because, one, if it rained, they would be defeated.
In a future episode, you will understand they do something with water.
Water from a well destroys one of them. Just some water, a bucket.
You'll see what they'll... No, it's the episode where Cat's in the surfing tournament.
Yes.
We'll get to that episode.
But regardless, water splashed on a cog will destroy them. So water, if it rained, Machine Empire destroyed. And 2, the Empire runs on Serpentera batteries. And the reason I know this is because they can only fire the guns once, don't have enough power to send an actual attack wave to the Earth beyond 6 or 7 fucking guys, and instead of simply flying the Armada from the moon to the planet, the batteries wouldn't make that trip, Shane, so they're building the Armada on Earth. They have an Armada on the fucking moon!
I'm going to tell you something right now. This is way later down the road, but if you guys ever watched the legendary battle with Megaforce, that man does not run his Armada on Serpentera batteries because he invades
that's an Armada
the planet.
Invading. That is an Armada invading.
Fucking Serpentera batteries, I swear to you it's real.
Serpentera is a badass machine.
Actually, in the Sentai, it probably is a more badass machine than the American version.
Even in the American version, we made it look so awesome. But it's not practical.
Because it runs on batteries.
And we know this for a fact because what happened in Forever Red. We'll get to that when we get to Wild Force. But Forever Red, where was Serpentera at? Because it was useless, they left it on the moon.
Right. Because they were about to take Serpentera when they were like, it won't make the trip. So she grabbed his ass by the Z.
I have more questions.
And they got on the Winnebago or whatever.
I don't.
Yeah.
We'll get. To, we're going to discuss Winnebago Zed.
Well, the Winnebago was in the first part anyway of Zeo. So.
Yep. We're going to discuss Winnebago Zed.
Wait, no.
I cringed. I cringed, but
yes,
nonetheless.
Now, also, I would like to. Okay.
Go ahead.
But yes,
Go ahead.
we were talking about the cog, and it makes him invisible, and he was going to use it to win the tournament. But I just want to ask you something, Shane.
Go ahead.
Would you be okay if your girlfriend was 9 years old 2 months ago? Now, she's in an 18-year-old smacking body.
And her mind is developed.
But last year, no.
She doesn't have a 9-year-old mentality.
Somehow, she doesn't.
Yeah, because she has a mentality
But
of...
there's no explanation as to why.
Hey, Bill,
oh, I am also
Stop!
gonna,
Don't view that plot hole.
You want me to bring up an even bigger plot hole?
Go ahead.
Her fucking parents came with her.
There was an episode that we'll get to.
Her fucking parents came with... What happened? The space-time continuum fucking hiccuped.
Timey-wimey?
I think at that point, Zordon's like, I'm out.
Fuck it.
Interdimensional.
Future chair.
You just added more stuff for me to make.
I think we just got our new thing because dickhead Xavier and his fucking future chair.
No, dude. Her parents are here.
Yeah, they are.
She's somehow all grown up, and somehow she mentally aged along with the Zeo Crystal.
The crystal not only aged her body, but her mind.
Yeah, the Zeo Crystal somehow restored the timeline, and at the same time changed history so that she grew up here. And that Aisha was born in the past,
Yep.
so now Aisha was never here, and
'Cause
Tanya
Aisha-
was here, because now Tanya lives with
Cat.
With Cat.
She was living with.
Yeah, now she lives with Cat.
I saw a flash of lightning. So.
Oh well, yeah. So now she lives with Cat because she always did because her parents grew up here, and she was born in this time.
I was gonna say that's beyond timey-wimey stuff. So.
Yeah.
I
The
think the
space-time
doctor would be like, I'm messing with that.
The Zeo Crystal butt-fucked the space-time continuum. Now, even if we're able to say that, you were protected by the Zeo Crystal, so you got to see the progression of how time was, and you remember Aisha. Yesterday, you went and got a 9-year-old from the past, and you brought her into the present, and you zapped her with some Zeo rays.
Well...
And then she was put into an 18-year-old body. You gonna date her?
Okay. Even though nobody else in the world will know but the closest people to me, my ranger partners, floating man in a jar, robot.
Robot, yeah.
They're the only ones that know that was a 9-year-old.
Just like 4 months ago.
No.
She's 9 going on 10, trapped at 18.
Even if they aged her mind, her body, just for the fact that just a little bit ago I was older than you.
Less than 4 months ago. These episodes, even if we say these episodes take place once a week, it's only about... No, it's not even once a week. Look,
there's like a few episodes that look like they take
Rangers,
place within a couple weeks.
Didn't Rangers come out once a day? New episode once a day?
Yeah.
Was it once a day?
I don't think it was once a week because
Bulk and Skull will mention in certain episodes, like, guys, we haven't had a real case in weeks.
They do say crap like that,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure that they used to produce an episode almost daily.
Yeah, it was every weekday, so.
Yeah, every weekday. So that means that only about 4 months ago she was 9.
I would not date her. Even if she had the mind.
But timey-wimey crystal beam.
Nope. Because in my
No,
mind,
that breaks
she was
timey-wimey.
9. I'll be your friend because we're on the same team. But I'm not going to...
But you're Adam. Going to date her and teach her katas.
Because...
All kinds of katas.
No, it's because once again he gets dicked.
You can't get the chick with the whistling sticks, so you got to get it.
I got to get a 9-year-old.
You got to get the 9-year-old.
Are you not understanding?
Now, we've discussed that you're going to prison if you lived in anime. How prison are you going in the Power Rangers?
This is not anime, and these are real people.
And since she's officially 18...
I am not going to do that. We don't talk about...
This is weird because, dude, when I said there's something weird and fucked up about Tanya, that like she's the single most genius ever and it doesn't make sense to me that she could come from the past and all this, I went back to watch the episode because when I said it, people got pissed. There was comment after comment after comment calling me an idiot, telling me that she was Aisha's cousin or some shit like that and all this other shit. So I rewatched the episode and he specifically said the Zeo crystals have tracked locations through times
through your ancestors.
Through your ancestors. Those people are dead. So Tanya was a person that had already died in the present.
Welcome. Oh wait, you're dead. You're dead.
So
now.
that means she had to have gone far enough back
Alpha,
for
we
Tanya.
Need a new Yellow Ranger.
Say Tanya lives to be 86. If Tanya lives to be 86 and we separate just 10 years in between the idea of her being dead before Aisha is born, just that's it. That's all we're going to give it. And even then, I don't see that this qualifies necessarily as ancestor because that's still your great-grandma, and I guess that's an ancestor, but still, it's not ancestor enough for me. It still is an ancestor, but to me, ancestor is people that were alive, that are no longer alive, that are related to you, that you did not know personally.
I've never met any of my ancestors.
Right, because they're fucking dead. Now, if we go back, we have to go back almost 110 years to reach an ancestor. 110 years before the internet, before disco. She hasn't even groove-thinged.
And she won't, because this is the 90s.
And she won't, because we're skipping straight to grunge, motherfucker.
This is the punk era.
And she not only fucking changed from 9 to 18 in less than 4 seconds, she hiccuped the space-time continuum, reverted her ancestral family line.
To where fucking now Aisha grew up in the past and now is dead in present.
Yes.
And Tanya is now the new Yellow Ranger, and now she knows everything that you know.
Yeah.
And she's smarter than you.
And she's a pop star.
Yes, I think this was the episode at the end. We'll get to that, because I was so lost at what was going on. So anyway, you guys who have watched Power Rangers growing up, you know Monster of the Week. They fight a monster. They stop a monster. I'm not going to go into details on all that because it's the same shit.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the end of the episode.
Actually, that confused me with something. I remember when I was watching these episodes, it's like, some of these monsters I've seen before.
They're redos. They're the same fucking monsters with new color schemes, and sometimes not even new color schemes, just reused completely. Like, Horsey Hose Monster comes back.
But there's like some other guys from like the previous episodes of
this episode had another monster that had already been used. Yes,
but I know that there was one episode where there was a bunch of monsters, but that's
we're gonna
they reused monsters.
We're gonna talk about that here.
Not that Mighty Morphin didn't do it too, because they did. We saw Pigman multiple times.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we saw fucking Lizard Man multiple times, so it's a normal thing.
We saw Upside Down Pumpkinhead Man.
Yep, he was multiple times.
I'm just telling you right now, we're going to get to some of the problems that I have with the show when it comes to the monsters and stuff.
But anyway, Adam won the karate tournament.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to talk about this karate tournament. And yes, everybody knows the cliche. He's a ranger. He's going to win.
He's an augmented person. I still argue that.
No, he is augmented. We already know that because he is augmented. Because they do have special abilities. Okay, you don't put on a color costume and just be like that guy over there. You're fighting monsters.
And we've also received countless times information that proves to us that when they have the powers, they are stronger than when they don't have the powers, even if they're not morphed, because when they lose the ability to morph, all of a sudden the putties and shit will beat their ass.
Which you will see that in this show, because the cogs, now that when the cogs show up, they morph.
Yeah, they morph.
They don't fight cogs. I mean, they'll fight cogs.
There's sometimes when they do, but
cogs are supposedly stronger than anything we've seen up to this point, so they have to morph.
Robots.
So
until we get to the last episode.
But yet the Tengu warriors, who are supposedly weaker than the cogs, beat that cog ass,
and it became a draw more or less.
Yeah,
so.
I'm gonna say
so. We could also argue that.
So anyway, dickhead ex-boyfriend and Adam fight. And to make it more exciting, it's a point-based system. 3 points and you win.
Any
Yes.
shot to the head is
Normally,
an instant
the way it works when I was in them, a hit to the body that counts as a blow. It can't be a graze. It has to be a blow. That's a point. A hit to the head is 2 points. And then depending on what kind of match you happen to be doing, usually you did. When I competed, it was 5. And you wore and you never. I only did one where it was low contact and no pads. Most of everything I ever did was full contact, and you had to wear head braces and a mouthpiece, and you had to have the arm guards, leg guards, shin guards, and stomach guards.
Well, we all know that Adam's augmented. He's an augmented human, and I'm watching this fight, and I'm like, dude, just end it. And this kid is fighting Adam hand to hand. I'm like, you fought Jason to a draw. But this dickhead is just so good.
Well, he hasn't fought Jason yet.
Captain of the baseball team, motherfucker.
Yes, he will fight. Okay, yes, later he'll fight Jason in a sparring match, and it's a draw. Not one of them had the upper hand.
And at that point, Adam's power might have grown some because the Zeo crystals are always growing stronger. So
Should be, yeah.
Should be. But at this point in time, this is the 26th episode.
Yes.
He's had this power for 25 previous episodes. His power should have grown exponentially. So how strong was that kid? But before Adam got the Z, that kid just rocked Adam?
Well, it's not a real fight. We'll point that out too. It's a very different world when you're in tournament setting like that because a lot of what you could do, you can't do or won't do. Like, I could hurt somebody really bad and just armbar the shit out of them, break their arm out of socket, and kick them in the face until they don't want to fight no more. But I won't. Because all I'm doing is going for 1 hit chest area, 2 hits face area.
Well.
And even then, you never directly aim for their face unless they have a type of guard or the sport calls for it.
Well,
those kind of tournament fights that you're looking at, normally those are not done full contact.
Right.
There's a lot of holding back that happens in those.
You can see it in the fight. There was holding back. Well, anyway, Adam wins the tournament. Because, Power Ranger.
Yes.
And now we're going to get to what I was talking about at the beginning. And that is, dickhead boyfriend comes up and apologizes for being a dickhead. And we're like, friends.
He's sorry.
And everybody's like, yeah, man, we're good. And then Tanya and him hug.
Here it comes.
And Adam is like, okay, that's enough of that.
Now, why would he do that?
Why would you do that?
Why would he do that?
That guy apologized. And in the world of Power Rangers, when you apologize, you're automatically my friend.
It's right. Now we're supposed to give hugs and we're supposed to move on happy.
There's one thing I might have missed or forgot. But did the girlfriend of the ex-boyfriend do anything? Or say anything with them?
No, she just had an attitude.
She just stayed back, right?
Yeah, she just stays back. She's not important.
No. So she's just a bitch.
She's unbelievably unimportant.
Yeah, she had a few
but
lines.
What is important is what the storyline element he's bringing up is that Adam split them apart. Like, that's enough of that.
He did that. After the ex-boyfriend
Why would you do
hugged,
that? Why would you do that?
They
because
are together.
Because they're dating. Because he's dating the 18-year-old.
He is dating Tanya.
He's dating 9/18.
And you always see those two together.
Yes,
yeah.
because
always
they're
together.
dating.
Just like Kat.
He's teaching her katas.
Now there will
all
be
kinds of katas.
There will be times where Tommy and Adam will be together, and the girls will be in the command center.
Those two are together because they're dating. It's spoke right there. That one scene alone, they're involved. You don't do that when that's just your buddy.
If I was dating, if I had a female, like a good female friend and she was hugging a guy, I'm not gonna be like, okay, that's enough of that.
That's enough of that. No, you break it the fuck up. Get the fuck off my friend.
No, if they're hugging, I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's my friend.
Because you don't got any say in what's going on.
Just saying that alone.
Now she followed you around. You are involved in her songs. You're even in her music video. She's hanging out with you during the martial arts stuff.
We're gonna get to
that is your girlfriend.
We're gonna get to something funny that I.
You are dating 9/18.
Tanya and Adam are together. So is Jason and Kat.
And every one of his friends look at him every day like, really? Like she was 9 4 months ago. You know that, right?
She's on the team, and I think we would work best together if we were closer.
Oh, yeah? It sounds like a real pedophile explanation. Good job.
It sounds like I have no good explanation.
You don't.
No.
Because 4 months ago, you knew. I don't care what time jump happened. I don't care.
Because
you
I
personally know.
I know.
Yeah, your memory was not altered to change the events of time. You know she
Zeo
was
Crystal
9.
protected us from the time changing.
I'd hate to say this, but
And she knows. It didn't alter her because she knows that she switched places with Aisha. That is knowledge that she knows, meaning she knows that 4 months ago she was 9.
Now she's dating Adam.
Now she's dating Adam.
I hate to say this, but Adam, with his relationship with the 18-year-old, is still doing better than Rocky's relationships.
We'll get to my Rocky, I'm sorry, we'll get to it later because there's a few episodes I think that he is literally pointless. That if
Really?
no
fucking way.
Like if somebody erased Rocky from the timeline, the Rangers would still do their shit.
I refuse to believe this.
But we'd only be missing out on a few episodes. That's it.
I'm gonna say something right now. But that's that episode.
Yes.
What's the next one, Bill? Oh, I know the next one.
Yeah.
No, I got it.
Bill's favorite because it
Gold.
introduces
Fuck yes.
It is
the power of gold.
Now,
where we remove all Bruce Lee fucking quotes and all Bruce Lee. What am I looking? I'm trying to think of how to explain this. The Gold Ranger fights like Bruce Lee.
Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking that.
Like
I was thinking Bruce Lee references.
Okay.
All references to Bruce Lee are deleted because the Sentai footage that we used, we avoided every single moment of him using Bruce Lee-esque attacks.
I think this is the start of what
When the Sentai showed up, he even tipped his nose. He did that. He was in the helmet, but he brushed the tip of the helmet, did that walk, and went into the fencer's stance, did the sidekick, stepped on the dude's head, and turned his foot.
Wait.
You're good
I think I've seen him do the nose thing after fights.
Regardless, he does
because he's supposed to. He's supposed to fight like Bruce Lee. Yeah. But the reason we cut that out is because Jason don't fight like Bruce Lee.
Remember.
And we knew that whoever was about to be in the suit, there's a lot of rumors as to who was supposed to be in the suit originally.
Oh, you mean the random person who it could have been of the day?
No, the actual rumor, the most verified rumor that could have possibly been true was at the time they were doing another series. It was like the Metal Warriors type of thing.
Oh, the Big Bad?
No, it wasn't Big Bads. I know that was a show that was going on.
I was going to say there was Big
another
Bad,
one.
There was VR Troopers.
Tommy was in it.
Oh, that was the one that he piloted for the VR Troopers.
Yes. Well, there's a character in there who they were going to combine these two universes together, and he was going to be the Gold Ranger.
But instead, they decided to go with the OG Red.
And they decided to go with Jason. And who knows what really went on in the background, because I think there's a lot of things that were happening that we were not privy to, because also they hired Jason David Frank's legitimate brother.
Yeah.
Yes, that's his real brother. The kid that's playing his brother is his real brother.
Okay.
Now, why would you hire that kid, build his storyline, tell him who the Rangers are, initiate that he knows martial arts?
You're talking about the surfer dude, David?
Yeah.
Thank God, because I had some explaining to do on that one.
Not only surfer dude, David, but he's also a Native American.
Yeah, he's the Indian guy that showed up.
When we got to that episode, I was going to do some talking.
But there was like a long time.
But that's
between
Tommy's
the surfer and the Native American too.
That's Tommy's brother, and in real life, it actually is Jason David Frank's real brother.
Okay.
And why would you go through all this trouble to not make him the Gold Ranger? I don't know what was going on contract dispute-wise. But also the idea that he would bring Austin St. John back after he left.
Because of a money issue?
Because of a money issue. There's a lot of stuff that we do not know, and we will probably never know, but something was going on in the background because they didn't know. They didn't know what to do with the Gold Ranger. They hired a voice actor and then masked his voice through effects. So that we couldn't,
Well, here's the
And
thing.
then they kept being like, this guy could be him, this guy could be him, this guy could be him.
I
Mystery
did
guy of
like
the day.
this. I did like
Yeah.
Now, being 29 years old, I know who the Gold Ranger is.
It was Skull.
But back then,
Oh, we're going to get to that with with them fighting the cogs.
That would have been
but
amazing.
back then, when the Gold Ranger showed up, and you're like, who are you?
Yeah.
And they were hinting that it was Billy.
They even go through the but I think they even more were leaning towards David at the time because he even says, "I know you guys,"
When I want to wait till I get to that.
and
episode.
he knew Zordon and Alpha. He knew Zordon and Alpha. However,
And when they
he
went,
had
went
never.
to him at the surfing thing, he's like, "There's some things you guys don't know about me."
Yes, he specifically says there's a lot of things you guys don't know about
when
me.
he showed up,
But then, not only was he in the command center and said he knew those two, he'd never seen the command center. And the way you know that is he looked around and said, this place is amazing. So he knows Zordon and Alpha. He knows about the command center, but has not seen it. He refuses to reveal his identity because for some reason he would lose his powers. And that's a load of shit, by the way.
that was a load of shit later on. Anyway.
That's a load of shit they had to add so that they wouldn't unmask him and so that they could keep the mystery going. Because they had not. I'm telling you, no bullshit. They didn't hire an actor yet. That's all it was. That's all it was. A line like that where they say, "I can't tell you who I am because I would lose my powers." That line was written specifically because they had not hired anybody to be him yet.
And more bait and switch bullshit.
Yes.
But when David showed up in the surfing episode, and fucking Tommy's watch is going off, and they're like, do, and then he goes with Jason to the side to talk to Zordon. I'm like, who are you? That you know that these guys are Rangers.
It's David. He was introduced earlier.
I don't remember.
So
Man.
Tommy's quest for the medallion or talisman thing with the arrowhead.
Yeah. He got,
Okay.
His brother that showed up then.
I remember that.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I mean by the Native American during
But
that. And
this episode, this is what I'm going to explain now. If you want to understand what I'm coming from, go for all of you who listen, watch our What's Up episode. We do mention something about Japanese footage, not wanting to use our real actors to fight our monsters, but Zeo does something very interesting that I didn't notice it in Mighty Morphin as much, but I do notice it here. You see, they did take stock footage from Japan still. When the Rangers are fighting a monster, or they're in the
cogs.
or not the cogs, not much anymore.
I saw
Certain
quite a
cogs,
few
yes, and you can
cogs,
tell.
yeah.
But nowadays,
Because it goes to VHS quality all of a sudden.
that darker tint.
it also it is raining here, so we apologize if any of that picks
Yeah,
up.
I'll bet you some of this is being picked up because it's coming the fuck down.
When they do take the Japanese stock footage, the cogs are darker, and then they're lighter in the American version. Well, they did take Japanese stock footage, but monsters and our Rangers were together, and they fought that monster in the American footage.
Now, I actually have a theory for this, too. I think that we had acquired some monster costumes.
Yeah. And we did.
And that's the reason you see monsters reused.
And you can see the difference. When they go to the Japanese version, whoo, that quality dips. I mean, This is a show in 96. This show does not have the greatest quality, but damn does it dip.
Yeah,
But-
it's hardcore.
But this episode is awesome because the Gold Ranger shows up, and you're like, who are you? I know who you are because I'm older and I've already watched this. But as a kid, I'm like, who are you?
And by the way, the Rangers were fucking falling over themselves. They sucked a dick in this episode.
The Rangers, at the start of this, they were split
You
up.
gotta push that
I
Gold
realize
Ranger.
you got to push, but look, when they bring in a sixth Ranger, usually it's because there was a really tough thing going on. But like the Rangers are just straight up ass. I get it that they were tired and they were
I'm
making
sorry.
some mistakes, but then all of a sudden the monster grows and like, stand back, we got this one, Zeo Megazord, and they bring that thing out. And that thing's like, bitch, I'm the Zeo Megazord. It gets slapped, it falls down
it's
like,
the wolf.
I'm out.
It's that wolf guy. The
Yeah.
monster was the wolf. I can't remember the full name.
Wolfbane.
Wolfbane.
It's Wolfsbane
And
or
he's
Wolfbane.
beating their ass, and then the Gold Ranger shows up. I love
That
What the-
it wasn't
oh!
even it wasn't even like a fight. Like he tried to hit Wolfbane. Wolfbane vanished and then came out of the ground and slapped his leg, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And when the Megazord tripped, it threw them all out.
Yep. And
If
then-
the Megazord trips, it is serious shit. You can get hit by a sword, fall backwards into a building, collapse the building, cause mega explosions, and the only thing that happens to you is you rock around in there. Oh shit! He fucking got us! Get up and get the power sword! But if that motherfucker trips,
your ass is coming out of that
it's
cockpit.
ejector seat time.
Well, as you know, they don't wear seatbelts.
It's true.
Now, when the Gold Ranger shows up, I love this thing he does. When Jason took over, he doesn't really do it. But the Mystery Man, when he's like, it's time for Gold Rush.
Yeah,
and
it's time for a gold rush.
And then he fucking shoots those orbs.
Yep.
The Gold Ranger is so cool.
Yes. My favorite one.
Pyramidas
is so cool.
Depends on which
Don't even
angle
try.
you look at.
Don't even try. It is. In the series,
there's a few
he is
angles where it
fucking
looks
cool.
kind of bad, but
In the series, he is cool. He's unlike the other Zords that come out of a place.
places.
Please answer this question. When they call their Zords, especially the guy with the gun hand,
Yes.
the Red Ranger
that shot
pilot.
out of a cannon.
What is that cannon?
Yes.
What is that cannon? That's not the That's not the command center. Where's that cannon?
Shane, that cannon is located at the side of Angel Grove where nobody goes. It's a big do not trespass sign, and nobody has ever went over there.
Part of me doesn't want to live in Angel Grove, but part of me does to see the wonders that happens in Angel
It
Grove.
is. It's amazing.
Well, in that case, just move to the town next
There are
to Angel
4
Grove.
climates in Angel Grove.
Depending
And
on
right in the middle of the fucking city, literally, there's a fucking cross section, and they call it fucking winter, volcanic, ocean, fucking summer.
And when depending on how I'm feeling, I think I'm feeling a little chilly. Let's do the cold climate.
Let's fucking turn right and go to Arctic.
And then they're like, let's go to the beach. Got it,
Keep
ocean.
going straight.
What about volcanoes?
That's left.
Okay, and then desert.
Back the way you came. Oh, and also, we're surrounded by desert because...
We're surrounded by desert, but also have an ocean.
Yes. River, ocean, lake.
Yeah. Last time I checked, you can't be in a desert surrounded by ocean.
We are.
Because it's not a desert.
We also have
then.
volcanoes at Arctic mountains. And
Shane,
we like to
Shane,
snowboard.
I'm sorry.
Shane, do you know why?
Explaining the...
Because, stop. Don't view that plot.
I'm
you
going
can snowboard as well.
I'm going to stop with the explaining of Angel Grove. I want to see.
And over to the right is a suburb with a gigantic sign and fence that says, do not enter nuclear testing site. And we just hit a cannon over there and it shoots out Megazords.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Yep.
And then next to that place is their NASA
Bill,
thing.
I don't want to crush you. I was a kid.
Fucking cool.
I was a kid.
It's cool.
I was a kid.
I'm an adult and it's cool.
No.
It is.
Pyramidas sucks.
Dude, he's so fucking sweet. He's like the Death Star.
It's a pyramid.
He's like a Death Star for Power Rangers. He holds up the wand, the scepter fucking pushes the button, it shoots a beam. Pyramidas is unlike other fucking Zords and shit. It fucking appears. And by the way, Pyramidas is also supposed to be awkward because unlike the other Zords that walk around and fucking do things like that,
He's a pyramid.
why?
He's a spaceship.
He's a spaceship. That actually makes an interesting kind of sense for him.
He's a spaceship pyramid that turns into a.
But it doesn't. It turns into a holding bay.
He's a car. He's okay. Think of
He's a gigantic.
Think of Titanus.
He's like a cargo. He's like a military cargo freighter type of thing.
Think of Titanus.
Don't you mean
except,
Tor?
Who?
Tor, the
Tor was the turtle.
If you've ever watched, now I
Titanus-
realize you don't like it, but if you ever watch Robotech, Pyramidas is that giant fucking robot city that they have. That's what it is. It houses all the Zords. It can move through space. It can go trans-dimensional, like it goes so fast that it breaks the fucking time barriers and shit.
I can't explain it. I just
And it
don't
has
care
a Death Star laser.
I know.
Literally.
I know. Trust me, I know.
You
Actually,
can
has
hate
multiple
it.
different
You
versions.
can hate it.
For it.
I fucking love it. I think it does make perfect
Bill,
sense.
Bill, listen, man.
I think it makes more sense than some of the other spacefaring robots that I've seen in the show.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Fucking space pirate, fucking Megazord would kill the fucking Pyramidas. Okay.
Yeah, because he's a boat that fucking flies around Final Fantasy style.
That's an airship, and you
See?
know that's cooler than a pyramid.
Kind of cool. It's kind of Final Fantasy cool, but if it wasn't for Final Fantasy, it would not actually be cool. Because then I would reference Peter Pan.
Which was not bad.
Wait, which Peter Pan, though? There's been many Peter Pans.
Bill. Because we do this show together does not mean we have to like everything.
We don't, but the pyramid is great.
In a combat sense.
Great.
For killing enemies
So
quick.
good.
Yes. His design.
Old Bill Logan has spoken. Bub. Schnick.
Are you the best at what you do, bub?
Being right about pyramids.
Do you even know that much about pyramids?
Future chair. Legs are cold. Boo.
What's the next episode?
Going on to the next episode. We have a small problem. You not liking a pyramid. Then we go on to a season to remember, the season with the pyramid.
Oh, no. That's the odd offshoot alternate reality Christmas special. That's simple. Or, my mistake, holiday specials.
Here we go!
Since they talk about other holidays throughout it.
Skipping everything about this episode, we're going to talk about one thing. Tommy and Kat are married with kids.
And grandkids.
And grandkids.
And their son is a ranger.
Is a Red Ranger.
Because the do went off at the house.
I want to ask you something.
And Tommy got up thinking it was his.
I'm very confused. This is honestly something that has me confused. They basically forced future perspective. Yep. It's not an alternate universe. They say it is, but because we're never given...
What we know now, it seems like an alternate universe.
It seems like it, but something happens in the future that we're not privy to yet. That is, one, Tommy and Kat get back together, have kids, and somebody, because we know Zordon's dead, somebody has rebuilt the command center and is reusing the Mighty Morphin technology. Because beep, beep, beat it, beep, beep has not been around for years. And this makes me think.
After Turbo,
I have an interesting fan theory.
After Turbo, the communicator thing, the watches are gone.
I have a fan theory.
So.
I have a fan theory that would put all of this into perspective.
All right, go ahead.
Many, many, many years from now, we're talking 50 years later. Tommy's in his 60s, maybe 70s. I think he's not supposed to be that old. We'll give him 60. Because look at Tommy right now, real life.
You know,
he's not old enough to be that fucking old and crippled. And he's already nearing 50. So we have to give him 60 or 70 in order to make this timeline work.
Let's do 70.
We have to make the timeline work.
By the way,
because look at him, he doesn't look that old and tired.
In that, I have to bring this up before I forget. You saw old Tommy, old man Tommy.
Yeah, I saw old man Tommy. He's missing a lot of his tattoos.
What's up with the hair? That is the fakest hair. I saw his hair underneath the wig.
Tommy will lose his hair later on. And he's very fucking sensitive about it.
He has his head. No, Bill, it's not even about the graying of the hair. Let's say that was his full head of hair. It's gray. He's old. Underneath that fucking wig, I saw his actual hair.
Yes.
They did not do a good job
but
of putting the wig on.
Shane, he still has his hair, but he's balding like Vegeta, and he's very sensitive about it.
Just because Vegeta's got
He's very sensitive about the widow's peak that goes all the way into the middle of the top of his skull.
But Shane,
just because
on the plus
Vegeta
side,
rocks a widow's peak like nobody's business.
On the plus side,
does not mean he's going bald.
On the plus side, Tommy isn't trying to grow a mustache.
Mustache.
But one thing I wanted to bring up is we know what the Sentai, they do their specials where it's like years later and 50 years later.
Right.
Maybe this was supposed to be some kind of nod to that.
I actually think that this is not outside the realm of impossibility. There is an explanation that could tell us why this future can happen. Billy. Billy is gone. He does not come back. Many years from now, when Billy finally returns to the planet, and he's been living on Aquitar, and he's the same age he was when he left, because they have the Fountain of Youth thing there. which means he can continue to drink whatever that is and maybe even created a technology or drug that allows him to maintain his age forever. Billy never aged. Now, many years later, when Billy comes back to Angel Grove, the Rangers have changed. Billy has not. Billy would rebuild the command center because it's what he understands. Billy would give the watches out again because it's what he understands.
Would Billy first try to recreate Alpha or reactivate Alpha to help him, though?
It's not impossible.
Yeah.
There might be an Alpha 7 that Billy made.
As long as it's not Jersey Alpha.
What alpha are we on right now?
5.
I think the last one was in the Operation Overdrive.
Operation Overdrive. Adam goes.
He's 6, isn't he?
Adam goes to a warehouse to activate an alpha.
I thought he was 6.
I thought that was Alpha 6.
Yeah.
Because this alpha goes all the way to space.
Now look.
That's when he becomes Jersey.
Alpha. No, a revoice modulation changed alphas to Jersey, didn't he?
Well,
there was another alpha.
His voice modulator got damaged.
In this alpha that we have now will go all the way to the end of space. So we'll have him for turbo, and we'll have him for space.
Yeah.
And in space, that's when he has that fucking.
I don't think he dies. I don't
at
think
the end of Turbo.
Yeah, but
his
I don't
voice
think that
got messed up.
That alpha doesn't die, though, if I remember right. Isn't he still on the spaceship?
Yeah, he's on in spaceship.
He's on Andros.
So there is still a 5 out there, possibly.
But there's a 6th one in a warehouse.
But that has nothing to do with anything. I believe that it's not outside the realm of possibility that this episode is possible, because when Billy comes back, he is not privy to any of the shit that went on while he was gone. So if he came back and reestablished, just like Zordon, 10,000 years ago, Zordon established a command center. What if Billy, having created a drug that gave him basically eternal life, just like Zordon, but unlike Zordon, he's walking around and moving? Well, he has the Alien Ranger technology at his disposal. He comes back to Angel Grove and establishes a command center. Because at some point, word has to get back to Aquitar that Zordon's dead.
I think that when the Z-Wave went across the
Yes.
universe, I think everybody knew he was
And
dead.
maybe Billy said, well, the universe is fine. So far it's holding up. But maybe something happens, and Billy, realizing nobody's stepping in, he uses the Aquitar technology and establishes a command center back in Angel Grove.
And you know when that can take place? He could have actually done that during the Lost Galaxy. Because, think about it, in Lost Galaxy, where are they located?
They're mostly in space.
Mm-hmm. They go to planets, yes, but
Earth is still there.
Mm-hmm. They don't go back to Earth until Lightspeed Rescue.
Now, no one said that this command center would be up and running instantly.
No.
Maybe it took years. It could have took 30-plus years to get everything running correctly, because
but if that's the case, that
all the
means
pseudoscience.
Billy would have had to make some kind of like makeshift Fountain of Youth thing to keep himself
All
young.
he needed was a drug. Because whatever they fixed him with, they brought a Fountain of Youth type of watery drug substance, and they gave it to Old Man Billy. And Old Man Billy kind of reverted, but didn't. And then they said, well, we take him back with us. He'll be fine. They take him back, and he's right back to his normal age, and he's like, I'm going to stay here. Well, he said he's going to stay there for love. Okay? Maybe.
Was it the female Aquitar
Yes.
Ranger?
Yeah, the ultimate female Aquitar.
Maybe whatever they did to him with the Fountain of Youth ceased his aging process. Sooner or later, that girl he was with did age, and she did die. That's fine. That's something that happens. Now, maybe she started getting older, or maybe she just flat out died, because we don't know their lifespan, and Billy decided to come back to Earth. If he gets back, he might reestablish a command center. And if he did, one of the things that Billy would do is he would say, I understand Zords like this. I understand that I need a way to communicate with my people. Well, the watches worked for like fucking 10 years. Why not just do the watch again? So he makes the watch and he hands them out. And the reason that Tommy and Kat know that their kid is a ranger. But their kid is kind of like, you notice their kid is like, oh, it's big secret. Mom, Dad, something's come up. Something's come up. But when they hear that noise,
Tommy immediately tries to get up because he thinks it's his communicator.
because to him it's a blast of nostalgia. The communicator hasn't been heard in years. So all of a sudden when he hears it,
And after
it's
just
not,
telling that tale, too.
yeah, and it's not just one of those moments. It's not just a moment like where the watch goes off and he's like, man, I remember that sound. It hit him like a blast from the past because he hasn't heard the sound in decades, and not because he doesn't have a watch, but because the Rangers simply don't use them anymore. But Billy's Rangers might. So when the watch goes off, he's like, oh shit! But then he realizes he doesn't have the watch, and maybe it even dawns in his head immediately as he's getting up that he's like, that's what all this is about. He's a fucking Power Ranger too. And rather than say, I know what's going on, he's like, oh, could you watch him? And he's like, yeah, because I know exactly what you're actually doing. I'm not going to bring it up, but I know what's going on.
Mom, Dad, the second he heard that noise, he's like, I'm proud of you, boy.
Right. That's one of those acknowledgments like, no, I get it. I know. And then even the boy's like, he always has things to do. And he's like, yeah, and he always will.
Yep. You have to understand that being a ranger, you can have free time. We could be doing this podcast right now like we are, and if my watch goes off, I'll be like, something came up.
Yeah.
And Bill's like, I know.
But when I think about this episode, I know it's common to make fun of this episode and bash this episode. The episode is bad.
Yes, it is.
It's awful.
Oh, it
Because
is.
it sounds like it doesn't take place anywhere in here, because there's no Gold Ranger in the episode.
Well, that's good and fine, but his story, you could also fall that into people tell the story they remember or they wish it had happened that way.
Yeah, but with the Gold Ranger appearing like the episode or episode 2 beforehand, it's like, this doesn't take place here. It might have been like earlier in this.
Could have been way earlier.
I like your theory that Billy came back and built the command center because it makes
in fact, halfway through this episode, I decided to fuck this episode. The only thing I watched of this episode was the first part where it introduces Old Man Tommy and he starts telling the story. Then I skipped that fucking story and I watched the end of Old Man Tommy, and it got me thinking about this Billy thing, and I said, Billy's not dead. Look, Billy has access to a fucking water that took him from the age of like 60 fucking 2, like, I'm fucking old as shit, guys, I gotta go to fucking Aquatar. And literally when he got to Aquatar, they called him, they fucking called Billy like 2 minutes after the teleport, talking about, fucking chug, 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 bottle of water, hey, I'm young again. That quick. If that shit does that, then why would we assume that he ever died?
I like your theory because of another thing.
He could literally be Zordon.
He could have built the command center, like you said.
Oh my God, he is the movie Zordon.
And like you said, it might not have taken like 5 minutes. Think about it. Obviously, Tommy moved on. He became the Dino Thunder
Remember when
Ranger.
they go back in time just to put this, when they go back in time to the Western Rangers,
okay.
to the Western Rangers. One thing that's interesting about going back in time is the command center was not finished. They were still building it. When you see the command center, it's under construction. Which means that it took Zordon thousands of years to get everything just the way he wanted it. And it still wasn't done because they're modifying and changing and building structures in the command center even during Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, because that basement that they're at in Zeo, that was under construction.
And they said, we'd been working on this for years. We just wasn't ready. We'd been using the upper structure, but this thing is what we wanted to unveil years ago. And even though we don't like it, when we move into fucking Turbo, there will be another restructure of the command center telling us that Zordon is never satisfied with the technology at hand.
No,
he's constantly adapting and advancing.
I don't see. Turbo's the one series that I watched one time, and I never went back.
Can't imagine why.
In the command center, didn't they have like tubes they went down, like a slide indicating their color?
No, you're thinking space.
Yeah, that's space.
Because they slide down to the stupid fucking boogie boards.
Yeah, because it's the one they did that in Turbo.
Nope.
No.
They slide down to boogie boards.
Okay, my bad. See, guys, going back to Turbo, second time in my entire life.
Now, Turbo will piss me off because one thing I really liked about Zeo was all the costumes in the back. I think that's brilliant. Showcasing the history of the Rangers. It's in the back. It's the Batcave.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like that.
It even has a picture of their fucking weapons.
Awesome. Beautiful. Fucking love the lineage.
Except for the Green Ranger.
Then right, because the power was lost.
Yeah, they can't.
Remember, the power... Okay,
Well, doesn't mean the picture couldn't be there. So.
This is where things get weird. No, but those are the actual suits.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Here's where things get really weird. The Dino power was never destroyed. It was damaged.
But the coins were.
The ninja powers were destroyed.
Yes, because Adam in space
right.
keeps his original Mastodon morpher.
And uses it.
And
it's broken.
The coin is cracked. And when he morphs, he's able to protect Carlos, because remember, Carlos doesn't have his morpher. And he keeps going in and out of the morphing sequence. Like, he'll be in suit, and then he'll go back to Adam, and then he'll go back into the suit.
So if we go by this logic, maybe those are stasis fields, and those suits behind them are the actual morphin energy costumes.
But now comes to my point about Billy. Because in Operation Overdrive, much farther in the future,
yeah,
Adam has his full power, because when in that crossover episode, when the Operation Overdrive Rangers lose their morphing grid gets broken.
Yes.
Adam is the Mastodon.
Yes.
His power is fixed. What if Billy fixed it? Billy knows more about the morphing grid than Zordon, I think.
Well, they say that Alpha went in and fucking fixed it. But that's not to say that after Adam left and the powers were fixed, that Billy didn't realize that maybe that's the whole thing, is he understands the Mighty Morphin energy more than anything, and that's what he wanted to utilize when he reestablished the command center. He was going to rebuild that energy field. But he couldn't get it to fucking work. And then this Alpha's dug out of storage because Adam knows where it is, and it's fine that Billy doesn't, because Billy wasn't here.
He was on Aquatar. And Adam,
so maybe after the morphing grid is fixed, because that Alpha's just gone.
That Alpha,
we don't talk about him ever again. Maybe Billy goes and gets that Alpha and says, "Hey, you fixed the morphing grid," and he's like, "Well, of course I did." And he's like, "Listen, I need to talk to you. I'm trying to reestablish the command center." And that Alpha's like, "Well, fuck, let me help." And then you got Billy. You got Alpha, you got a command center, he understands the watches, he brings the Mighty Morphin power back. That explains this scene.
Because in the Legendary Rangers,
this episode would make
powers.
Perfect sense under that pretense.
In Megaforce, Tommy is the Green Ranger. The power has been restored.
But then again, he also had green and white at the same time.
Yes,
so.
but
if we are to assume that after the morphing grid was fixed by this Alpha, now Billy is basically... He's got a command center. He's not using it, but he's got it, and all the powers are reestablished.
I really like.
They all work.
I really like this theory. I know it's just a theory.
Right. There's nothing behind
it. This episode's mostly been about the theory.
We're not fuck the actual episode. We're talking about theories now.
This episode is really bad, but those two scenes did allow me to play around.
All right, Bill.
Now look, we have literally gone
3 episodes.
Let's finish this episode with, and I realize this is not quite what we normally do. We will be doing another part, finishing Zeo with part 3, and it will be our next episode. But let's finish this episode with Oily to Bed, Oily to Rise.
I don't like that. Let's finish with the 30th episode.
Why, man? Oily to Bed
no,
is when the best enemy ever shows up, man.
No, the only reason why I'm saying that is because this episode's episode 29. Let's end it on 30. So let's talk about this episode and the next episode, and then we'll end it.
Horse hose? Horse?
I have to ask questions. About this episode because as a kid, I didn't care.
Yes.
I saw people fight monsters, and it was amazing.
I almost videotaped.
This is the one that Catherine was in the surfing competition, right?
Yes, because that's when all the green icky comes into the water.
It's a contest that a ranger didn't win.
Oh, he's right.
Yeah, she did win.
She did not win.
Yeah, she didn't win.
Okay. Hey, kudos on that. Yeah, no, that didn't even... I'm so used to them winning everything that it didn't even dawn on me that she lost the competition.
Did lose the competition.
Because she was more concerned about cleaning the water and getting the
And while that
oil
other dude,
stuff.
that other dude stole all the glory, some random guy.
Okay, well, let's also chalk that up to if the Ranger was there, would they have lost? Because I think she was on the verge of winning.
She was. They even
But yeah, she does lose. That's kind of nice,
She
but
might
it's
have
only...
also lost because of her having to go away. And
Yeah.
do
Well, that's
Power
why
Rangers
she
stuff.
lost, because of a stipulation. But yeah, she does
I
lose.
laugh-
It didn't even dawn on
I
me.
laughed on this episode.
Because he went through the pipe like...
Well, we're gonna get there because I have a question.
He was acting like Pennywise in the sewers. Like,
Dude, it was amazing.
Everything floats down here,
Oh, he was floating. Motherfucker was floating through the veins.
What I need, okay, before we get to that, because I have a question. This episode is, we talked about this episode, we talked about the Machine Empire, how they don't like water because if they get wet, they get destroyed.
That's weird.
They
But
wanted
then
to,
this guy can flow through the water?
they wanted to change the water so that they
Yes.
wouldn't be affected.
Yeah, so they change it into like
Which
the
would
year's
also change
oil
the
stuff.
atmosphere
This
because
is
the
the-
atmosphere would no longer have water going in to cause
This-
rain and things like that.
This is the first episode that made me facepalm.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why. I don't care if you guys like them. I don't care if the comedic relief is just there because you need it, because Bulk and Skull scenes are 100% pointless.
Big shocker.
When they keep cutting to the Detective Stone.
Yeah, this
and the
detective...
coffee making
this
stuff.
detective phase...
This sucks.
Yeah.
The only time it doesn't suck is when it comes up to the King for a Day stuff.
When it comes to... When it actually okay, this one did tie into the story because they were making coffee. And how dumb. How dumb.
Oh my god.
Okay,
How hard it?
Okay,
I made coffee when I was in junior RTC in high school.
No, it's not that. When Skull went to the faucet, poured the water into the thing, and it came out green, he was like, even he stopped for a second, like, okay, first off, this is not right. What is this? It smells bad. Let's make coffee.
Let's make coffee. They used it.
They just said...
You couldn't have fucking turned... Oh, and on the news behind them, it is saying... And even
You
Stone...
mean when
we
Bulk
gotta,
was like,
we gotta give it to
poison?
Stone. Stone is also dumber than a motherfucker, because Stone is watching the news that's
Yep.
literally saying...
But Bulk was the one
entire,
going, toxic?
Yeah, okay. Yes, but Stone is watching the news report when they very first
Yeah.
pour the water, and they say on the news report, all of Angel Grove's water supply is turning into a sludge, it's toxic, it's dangerous, and literally, he's got them over there making coffee from the water fountain.
Which is toxic.
Which is toxic, that he's watching the news report right fucking now that says, green sludgy shit, look out.
By the way, when they're in the water... Okay,
And they say, hey, we're on a delicate part of this coffee making operation. He's like, keep going, guys.
Okay, Stone... Okay, I'm sorry, the detectives... Bulk and Skull scenes have always been kind of pointless when they were the bullies in Mighty Morphin. When they moved to Zeo, they were cops. They got
They
fired.
were cops and detectives.
Now they're detectives. They suck, first off, as detectives. But these scenes are so bad.
And that's on top of the once-in-a-while appearance by Goldar and Rito.
We'll get to
Once in-
to Goldar and Rito because they tie into
Well, later on, but not...
Winnebago Zed. My thing is when you get to this scene where the cogs are trying to open up this thing to dump all that green gooey crap into the ocean, we've seen some fake CGI in Power Rangers. We've seen some real horrible scenes.
Oh, you mean
No
the ooze?
shit.
When
Yeah.
that green ooze crap comes out, I'm like,
Where's the turtles at
that
to
is the
mutate 'em?
fakest. The fakest. You got real water. That is an ocean that you're swimming in. But that green goop is the most CGI garbage I've ever seen.
I'm not sure what you were expecting in a 90s CGI.
I'm not expecting fucking 4K quality.
But
I'm
90s CGI was bad.
And you know what? That took the cake right there. That was the worst I've seen.
And here's the thing that really...
No, when you... No, the
Mo-
worst is when
Movie
you get to
Ranger
Sharknado.
Here's the thing that'll really get you with the CGI. The 90s had this weird fascination with using CGI when they didn't need it. I'll bet you they could have done that syrup shit Because there's a type of effect that you can use in Hollywood where they mix like a syrupy sugar shit with water, color it green, it turns into a slime. They could have just made like 15, 20 gallons of this shit. Open that pipe and let it go boosh. And instead they chose to use CGI. And I'll bet you CGI, as bad as it was, I'm going to argue, and I'll bet you I'm right, that CGI probably cost them thousands of dollars. No joke, thousands of dollars.
I'm going to agree with you because CGI is not cheap.
Remember the dog shit in the fucking front lawn on that
of John Wick?
Yeah, that's like I think it's like 70 so anywhere from $70,000 to $145,000 CGI for dog shit.
I could have got you real dog shit for free.
Exactly. Hollywood is fucking dumb. And this is one of those dumb moments in Hollywood. They could have made some green sugar water shit
First off,
that would have poured out of that pipe that would have not been a difficult effect at all.
I have another thing. When David, Tommy, and Kat were in the water, and that green stuff was coming, and she's like, "What is that?" She's like, and Tommy's like, "Don't let it touch you."
And they all get on the fucking surfboard and slowly paddle to the shore.
Paddle. Let's dog paddle.
They slowly dog paddle with this. Fuck that surfboard.
I want to talk to you about that. I've been in the water before, where I've held something to learn to swim. I don't remember. You move faster if you move the board.
Why am I stopping you? There's one more thing in this episode that you're not thinking about, Shane. You're not thinking about him because he's worthless and his character sucks a dick. Green sludgy shit pours out into the water supply.
Right.
It's going to kill surfers and swimmers alike. Rocky is the fucking lifeguard on duty at the beach.
And you know, okay.
At the start of the episode, you see him.
Which makes him the stronger swimmer.
And where is he?
Get it. Okay. Tommy and David were like, Rocky, go get the people off the fucking beach. We're going to go save Kat.
Yeah.
And then it pans over to the people. What is that? What is that? They're still on the beach, by the way.
Yes.
Rocky never told him to leave. Rocky was just like, oh, thank God, I didn't want to go out there.
Yeah. He didn't do shit.
I understand that we bashed.
Until they got back. Then he went up to them. It's like,
guys, we bashed.
Yeah, but like, he was the lifeguard on duty. It was his fucking job when Tommy said, hey, we're going to go out here and save one fucking person. No, motherfucker. You're the stronger ranger. You morph right now and go fucking save the water supply.
Because as of right now,
I am the lifeguard who is the stronger swimmer who's been trained in fucking life-saving procedure.
I'm going to say
my ass is going to go out there and save multiple
because
people.
of her background.
And she's a fucking professional swimmer.
yeah.
Because
Let that bitch swim. Get a megaphone, motherfucker. Beep, 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 beep.
we already know these are waterproof.
Use the fucking watch.
But I don't think she has it. I don't think she has it on her when she's out there, though.
Why? Why would she?
It's waterproof.
Why would you not wear it?
I don't think she has it on her. That's the thing.
Because after Tommy talked on it, he jumped into the water. It's waterproof. Now, here's what I'm telling you right now.
So if she did take it off,
Cogs?
fuck her.
Cogs are fucking poisoning your water supply. You've got Tanya and Adam, the only ones fighting. Rocky, Kat, and Tommy are at the beach. Now, Tommy goes in to save Kat, but Kat's a professional swimmer. That's her background.
Yeah, she's a swimmer.
Rocky,
that's supposed to be her character
She might be the
trope.
strongest swimmer in the show. But Rocky has to be the next best because he's a lifeguard.
He's a lifeguard.
Tommy, you are literally the strongest ranger on the team. I will go get Kat. We'll join you. Go help Tanya and Adam.
Right. Go help fucking 918.
Listen, I understand that Adam is the second best fighter on the team. You are the leader. Lead the team.
Yeah, lead the team. He did lead the team. He said, I'm going to go get my woman. You guys go do the life thing.
Let me go. No. Kat, get out of the water. You're a professional swimmer. Let's go fight. That's how it should have been. Rocky, we bash Rocky, but he has got the weakest character development.
It's because they fuck him. I've had people that have gotten mad at me in some of the chats and even some of my direct messages and shit like that when I bash Rocky, but let's be honest here. Rocky is a terrible fucking character because he's been written that way.
Yeah.
They fuck him at every... This was his...
all in turbo.
This was his moment. This should have been his fucking shit. There's no reason that Tommy should have put on his fucking wetsuit and swam out there. If you want to put David in the situation, David should have went with Rocky. Now, here's what this comes down to. The stock footage. They used the stock footage instead of filming that scene themselves, so they had no choice but to dick Rocky's development.
Now, Rocky does...
We could have fixed this, however, knowing the fucking Sentai footage we have. Why wasn't Tommy the fucking lifeguard?
Why not? Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Why purposely write his character terribly?
If they would have wrote Rocky as a better character, I probably would have respected him more. But I have to go with what I'm given, and what I'm giving is the weakest character on the team. Sorry, the weakest character on the team. Now, there is an episode that we're going to get to very soon, and it will be on our next episode, guys, where Rocky, I give him props. I was like, good job. He had his moment. It didn't work.
Tried.
It didn't work. But at least he fucking tried to develop a character, but the motives behind that were petty and pathetic. And we'll get to it.
Speaking of petty and pathetic, we're over our time.
We are.
Yes. This is the first time this has happened, but it's a good episode. It's a good long discussion. We will be coming back to start on Disc 5 and moving from there later on. Hey guys, did you like that podcast? If so, remember to check out fandomnight.com. At fandomnight.com, you can drop a line to this show, or you could check out other podcasts as well. We cover all kinds of topics, everything from comic books, wrestling, movies, TV shows, video games, animes, mangas. It's outrageous. We seem to have a podcast for just about everything, and you have access to it just by going over to fandomnight.com. So check it out, guys. We're going to get out of here.